Hi. We are in a very extremely energetically tense, intense climate. Please remember to be gentle with yourself as all of these processes go underway, as fate takes control and the universe or God shows us who is really in control, who has been in control the whole time. And again, as I've said in many readings previous, while it is true that we are in control with the work of balancing and regulating our internal worlds, the real truth is that as individual human beings, we are under the spell of the great wheel. And the wheel is turning right now, and it's very uncomfortable for all of us because, as I've repeated over and over again, as we all understand by now, is the lesson, the great big lesson of everything. Surrender, while it is very difficult, very uncomfortable, it is very important. And again, we are in surrendering school. We are being trained to the bone. And I think it may be true for a whole lot of us that you're finding that a lot of people are actually not good at surrender. I mean, I myself, like no individual person, I think, can be too good at surrender considering how the system is built on the idea of control. Like money is made from control. These big corporations that we see, they're big and successful because of the narrative of control that they've held for so long. It's really all falling apart, and it's really, really uncomfortable right now. And while I built up to this general excitement and like this thrill of the 8-8 portal, it is still exciting because I think at the end of the day, what is happening, what is really happening, whether we are uncomfortable or not, no matter what's happening in your life, really, what's happening at the root of it is a kind of alignment that honestly this world has never felt the frequency of, that you yourself may have never felt in your life. You're going to feel it eventually. It may not feel that way now. Honestly, it feels like everything's like really out of control. And through my personal experience, every time I felt the desire or the drive to control, to hold on, to cling, I put in the description of this live reading as well. Every time I felt that desire, either something goes south in my external world, or, and thankfully this is happening more and more, which again I think is part of the whole surrender school. It's what we're being trained for. Our inner voice, my inner voice, stands before me and manages to remind me to release, let go, calm down. More specifically, I have multiple concurrent situations in my life with people I care very deeply about, but I don't understand them and I don't know what they're thinking. And I know that me reaching for that understanding and trying to know what they're thinking is me trying to control the situation, control their reaction, or control the way they feel about me. The whole people-pleasing thing, which as a Libra North Node in both sidereal and tropical is my wound. Actually, I have Chiron in Libra. And I believe there's also a Chiron transit happening right now. So it's the wounds. So all of our deepest wounds, I believe, are being triggered up in ways that, hey, Pearl, thank you. I'm sending you so much love as well. Thank you. Our deepest wounds are being triggered up in ways that we couldn't, in ways that could not have been predicted. I guess it's also part of the Mercury retrograde mess. There's a lot going on right now, and I don't even know what to say, to be honest. I come on here. I'm here to keep this going, because with the vibe that's happening in my life right now and the way that I'm processing things, if I don't maintain the habit and build the muscle in my body, then I'm going to lose momentum, and I would hate to lose momentum for something like this. I still enjoy it very, very much. I didn't even think I would before coming on live. I didn't think that I would feel anything about being on live, but yeah, I really love this. So I can't give it up, and I can't lose momentum, and I really enjoy connecting and sharing my ideas at the very least, even if the feedback is minimal. I just love it. And I hope that, to extend on what I'm saying, that's true for you, that you have somebody or something, whatever, that you can anchor yourself in right now, because it feels like the energetic winds are blowing really, really hard. And like, we need to find some tree or some structure to hold on to. Technically, it's supposed to be ourselves. It's supposed to be that inner peace or inner sense of bliss or whatever the fuck. I'm sure we all know about it. But honestly, right now, it has never been further away to hold on to. It's very confusing. The contradictions of God are really like alive right now. And I think because there's another reader who I mention at every other reading, Queen Cup. She had before this maintained the desire to come on weekly, but she hasn't been on this week either. So I think that, taking that as a sign, and I'm sure we're all feeling the energy of everything right now. I wanted to come on this live as real as possible, which is what I tried to do in my last live, but I was very excited. Now I'm a lot more grounded, and the wounds are wounding. Trying to come here as realistically as I can, trying to show up as realistically as possible. It's really difficult. We know how hard this work is. We know by now what we've signed up for. And I'm sure we all are already aware as well that there's no backing out. And there's no going back. There's no repeating. There's no returning to that sense of comfort of choosing the old, choosing what you know. We are. There is no choice but to evolve now. It's not just important or mandatory. It's not just those things, because even saying that word, it makes me, it gives this sense that there's still a choice. There's no choice anymore. There is no more, there's no going back, like for real. So if you or anyone else around you is still lying to themselves, avoiding feelings and sensations that are too uncomfortable. Nothing can be too uncomfortable at this point. Nothing can be something that you pretend isn't happening. The elephant in the room is like taking a shit in the middle of the room. You know what I mean? And it's it's getting harder and harder to ignore that. And it's overwhelming. And again, because I say this every time, and I wanted to say it at the beginning of the live, but I feel like I say it so often that, quite frankly, I like when I'm feeling this way, I don't know how to apply it. But I hope that you're gentle with yourself. Even saying it now, it's like, what does it even mean to be gentle with yourself at this stage? Like, what does anything mean anymore? This is very existential up in this bitch. But also, again, because of how hard the energetic winds are blowing, you can trust very much that a kind of spiritual alignment is happening that is really like beyond beyond brain, beyond speech, beyond description, beyond anything that we can hold. Even in our hearts sometimes, my heart's been really like, my heart space has been going through it. And I know that there can be some physiological explanations linked to this, like, I don't know, blood sugar rises and falls, whatever the fuck can be explained. But I really do think that all of that can be tied to, like I've said, the root work of aligning, releasing fear, releasing old cycles. We are dealing with the oldest paradigms, real generational shit, man. Things that like so many people in our lineage could not overcome. They could not do this. They died never facing these emotions. They died never feeling the things that we're processing in our hearts. Trust yourself. Again, with my presence on this live, I can't, again, as an extension of what I read last time, I can't give you anything that your inner world and that your own inner truth can't give you. No reader, no tarot reader or spiritual intuitive or someone you can consult with, even your fucking therapist. And I'm not trying to dog on Western systems and big pharma and all of that stuff. But genuinely though, now is the time to trust yourself, or to learn how, and figure that game out quickly. Not quickly, no. There's, I don't know. I'm feeling into a sense of urgency, right? But like, okay, it's not urgency. It's not urgency. It's just major. It's just big. Like how the Oscars were to the collective at some stage, or how celebrity culture was at some point. Like, we're really living in a world right now where that kind of stuff doesn't matter to a lot of people, when at a very long stage of life, it did, and it mattered for a very long time. There are lots of things that nobody cares about, that we all used to really, really care about, but now we don't. All of our awarenesses were pointing towards a pot. We were giving that pot life for a very long time. Now all of us are taking agency. We're all taking agency of our awareness almost at the same time. And this pot that we were all focused on is losing its mind with the lack of attention. And we, from our own awareness, are dealing with this really eerie sense of confusion about what to look at now, or about where to put our awareness. Remember to just always keep it here, on your heart, in your heart space, in your truth, in whatever this place of your body is telling you. Even if it's not saying words, just sit with that feeling and with the emotion. And even if it hurts like all hell, because it will. And I think that that pain, the way that it hurts so bad, is on purpose. Hold on, baby. The way that it hurts so bad is on purpose. Yeah, this is going to be one of those readings, and and I didn't actually want to do this for too long because, like I've been explaining just now, there's nothing more important than following your inner truth right now. There's nothing more important than listening to your inner wisdom, training that muscle, getting the sense of what your intuition sounds like, and getting good at integrating that practice in your daily life to a point where, and I've been saying this in many readings ago, but I was scared to repeat it because of how linked this is to a person's survival and like your well-being, you know. But to a point where if your intuition is telling you to leave that long-term relationship, or fucking like drop that long-term friendship, drop that job, you know, change the entire course of your life. If your gut is telling you that, then you have to listen. And I think that may also be part of the frazzle in the air right now, is that I honestly, genuinely believe a lot of people's intuitions are telling them truths that don't make sense to them right now, that put them in really fearful positions of, what? I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. That goes against my morals. Or that's going to put me in a position that I don't know how I'm going to get out of. Or that's going to put me in literal danger. Or da-da-da-da. Like we're all being driven to at least process things that are things that we've never thought of before, things that we never thought that we'd do, things that are beyond our understanding, things that we have never seen people in our community do, things that we are seeking advice from for other people in our community, or these other people are responding back, no, that's a terrible idea. But your gut is saying, no, that's actually a great idea. You know what I mean? And people are not listening to the part of themselves that says, oh, that's a great idea, or that's a bad idea. We have to listen. I'm feeling a sense of like lots of like real trouble and turmoil if we don't. And I think that the people around us, I don't know if I've said this in this reading already, but I think the people around us who are not listening, those are the projectors, the NPCs, the people who are like just coming up with like, who are living truly, the great split is happening right now. I have somebody in my community who recently told me about the experience they had with someone who he's known for years, more than 10, or at least 10, leading up to 10, but at least a decade, you know, really long time, long enough to be able to have you look at the person in the eye and you feel like, yeah, you can look back. There's a cooperation. This girl said something about this friend of mine that is so like, why would you even say that? Why? Where did you? You know what I mean? That's what this person said. That's what she said about this friend of mine, and it's even sitting with it right now. It still doesn't make any sense. That's the kind of shit that's happening. All respect to that girl, but she's processing some shit. She's not listening to herself. She's trying very hard to suppress something that is it's so grotesque, but I'm imaging a beast like crawling out of the throat and making you gargle, where you want to say something, or rather you want to push it back, you want to swallow it, but it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Very grotesque, but that's the kind of force that this energetic climate is coming with. Don't suppress anything. Don't try to deny any true feelings. Be completely and entirely honest with at least yourself. Fine, maybe being honest with other people is awkward, uncomfortable. But if you get the prompt to be honest, to have that honesty be drawn out, don't try to hold it in. Don't try to swallow it up. If someone asks you, how have you felt about me? And you try to swallow it or change it into something, you are putting yourself in danger. You are turning shit into something that is actually wanting to be alchemized. Don't try to hold anything in right now. Now is not at all the time. Be careful with your words, just so long as they're truthful. Fine, maybe compassion has flown out the window because the heart space is really tender, so it's hard to be compassionate all the way. But please be truthful. It's going to cause such unnecessary issues. People who are lying and they don't even know why they're lying. Or they don't even notice that they're lying. Or they're running, so they lie. It is a very, it's a very serious time. And as an aside, I'm also feeling called to, I tweeted about this as well sometime last week, that we need to start getting comfortable with death and grief. And just processing the feeling, not so much the understanding that death isn't the end and the whole spiritual ideal of it, but more just the facing endings and the feeling of loss and of needing to release something that you really wanted to hold and keep. But it has to go. The pain of that. And and yeah, I think that feeling links to surrender, just needing to accept that you aren't, that while you are in control, you're not as in control as your ego wants you to be. You can't be. You can never be, because our human brains, I've said this many times, our human brains are just too small to understand. I'm going to pull cards for the sake of just like closing it off, doing what I love, seeing what our angels have to say. But again, they're always with us and they're always speaking to us. And I feel like collectively what they're most of all trying to say over and over, repeat again and again, are the points of receiving multiple things. Of you're not wrong for being human. Your heart space, your heart is an incredibly powerful, multifaceted, multi-layered machine that you have to allow to do its thing. Stop getting in the way of your heart's work. It's becoming dire. I think I mentioned this as well readings ago. People are at risk of making themselves sick by not listening to their heart. And obviously, yes, love Big Pharma, but in case you ever find yourself back against the wall and you're feeling really strange physical symptoms, tap in. Because chances are there's some heart work that's calling for you that you've been ignoring for a very long time that needs to be addressed now, you know? And really random one, but forgive your parents as soon as possible. Forgive your family, but specifically your parents. Specifically your mother. Try to understand where she's coming from. Open your heart to understand the womb that you lived in for a very long time. It feels like the womb is very important right now. The womb and the heart and their connection. And you're never alone. You're never as alone as you may feel. You're never as alone as your traumas and your shadows have led you to think, to believe. Again, it's very Five of Swords here. I think I pulled it last week. We're all covered like this. We're scared. We're in a corner. We're in our shadows. We're shaking. We're super, super afraid. We have to eventually be brave enough to do this and just look and just see. You don't even have to do anything. You're not expected to do anything more than just be present, you know? And try to allow just that much. Don't expect, please, very important, please don't expect anything more of yourself right now. Please just try your best, even if your best is at a level that a past version of yourself would have really chastised you for. Just let go of expectations over yourself. Congratulations if you've managed to like graduate, start businesses, keep the train going, because I've been seeing a lot of that as well. A lot of graduations, promotions, really good news, and really congrats. But don't expect to keep that. Don't add too much pressure. Please release and remember that you are human. Let me shuffle. And I'll be done.
Mommy,
Yes.
I'm more hungry because finish my food.
Okay.
I'm so hungry. Can we eat something else?
I have to go to the kitchen and think about what to get you.
That I have.
Okay, let me shuffle, baby. Just give me a few minutes. He'll come in, he'll say that. And then I'll go, because I left him, with a bowl of food. And I'll go and look at the food, and he probably has only had like 3 spoons. Toddlers. Okay, so I'm pulling a card. This is timeless. I'm not putting a time ahead on this. Normally with these collective stuff, I do that for the week, but yeah, it's been hectic, and I no longer, just at least for this period, there's a lot of processing happening. I can't show up on the exact, like every Sunday or Monday. So I'm just going to vibe out from here. And yeah, no, I'm just going to vibe out from here. I don't think I'll ever be missing for too long though, because like I said, I really love this. Right? Like, duh. And I think that this is like, I really love this picture of the devil in this deck. I really love the way that that I love the energy. I love how menacing this creature is. Observe us as a collective at the bottom. And I think this image at the back is a brain. It's the image of a cerebral. This is very much exactly what is happening right now to the whole lot of our hearts. I think that this is also just the image of like the earth on a collective level. This is what's going on. I'm feeling as well into like, but I think we've seen this a lot of like via America. They're coming up with a whole bunch of new, really terrifying, egregious policies that really go against, they essentially go against our abundant rights as human beings, not just our human rights, our abundant human rights, the right to believe that we are safe, that we are protected, that we are always looked after. These kind of things are being deeply challenged within us on a collective level. It's still true though, right? Even though this monster is huge, menacing, and very like, what is this? Just so, it just genitals out. Like it's just so, oh my God, you know? but we're fine. And this creature is not as scary as you think. And I think anyone 8th house or Scorpio can understand the value in facing this beast and finding the enjoyment in being curious about the beast versus looking at it and being terrified off the bat. Girl. Okay. I wasn't going to take it because it's too much, but I think this is fine. We have the Eight of Cups, the grief, the loss, dealing with death endings, getting comfortable with that feeling, as I've said. We have the Three of Swords, which speaks for itself. The heart work that I was talking about, aligning the mind with the heart. And I think this alignment really mostly happens through surrender. I think with this image, I'm getting the sense of us, some of us, and of the people who are projecting that you'll find in your direct community, people who are projecting, they're trying to forcefully pull these swords out. And thinking in terms of like the medical field, in medical practice, I mean, we all know this as like common general knowledge. You don't just pull these things out. You don't just roughly try to tug and just, you might like bust a vessel and literally kill yourself, So you have to be gentle. You have to like, you have to be gentle with your process. And then we have the Hermit, soul work, shadow works, the demons, but we're holding our light. This is the image of us right now. This is what we're doing. Then we have the Knight of Rods, which I think is the external visioning of us, the way that we are able to wake up every day, still have hope, still pray, still keeping up with our rituals, still trying to find things that bring us joy, still connecting, being good friends, daughters, sons, community members. People are still trying out here. It's beautiful. And I hope that even if you aren't, you can find like joy in other people who are, and then allow that to inspire you a little. I've been finding huge inspiration in going to the gym, very random, but I'll have moments where I'm sitting at gym and I'll observe everybody exercising, and something about that is just very beautiful to see. Everybody trying to better themselves, looking after their bodies, looking after their health. Just that little action has really helped me in remembering that we're powerful. We all have our own power sources, and it's so touching. I also had a moment today, a very random one, where I was sitting in traffic, and it was one of those the robots weren't working, so we had to follow that one of those unspoken road rules, and it was moving smoothly, and I found a touching fascination over the fact that this person's a stranger. We're all total strangers to each other in each of our little cars doing our beep boop things, but we're all following these rules of the road. No one's being crazy. No one's skipping their turn. No one's forcing. Everyone's just, trying to get home. We're all trying, and it's beautiful. I recommend you try journaling as well. I think it might be helpful. I don't know if I personally, I don't feel particularly inspired. I feel like I could suggest like drawing or something artsy and stuff, but I don't really feel inspired in this moment, so I don't know. I'll try my own hand, but we'll see. And then we have death. So yeah, I think I've said everything that I need to say. The general energy of these cards, I think I covered in the beginning. True to the vibes, we are facing grief work, shadow work, death work. Some of the scariest creatures in this deck out facing us, right? Just looking us down, tormenting us. But we've got this. We're doing the work. All of these, we have really sweet messages of hope in these two cards, with us holding our own lantern and this gorgeous flower. This Knight of Rods speaks of an individual who is looking for hope in a crashing world. But Yeah, we're doing the work, and there's work to be done. There's work to be done. So, yeah, like I said, get into the grief work, the death work. Something that's also been helping me is following death doula accounts. There are loads of them. And trying to understand the end of life experience, and just sitting with the random facts of what happens at the end of a life, how the body processes it, how the body knows what it's doing. That's something that's been repetitive in the death doula content that I've seen, that the body knows how to die. You just have to trust it. And that idea has been following me around, to say that if the body knows how to die, then surely the body knows how to live, right? If we can trust our bodies as we are dying, then why is it that we are so hesitant to trust our bodies while we are still living and well and young? I don't imagine that anyone in their last Saturn return is watching my readings at this stage. We're all like finishing or just started our first Saturn return. We are so young. We have so much room and vitality to trust our bodies. We have time, and we really should be using it now while we are still this young and like fruitful, to learn how to allow our bodies to lead the way, because they know. Again, it's huge. It's a really big deal. I don't think, I feel like I need to repeat it. It's a huge deal that the body knows how to die. Dying is insane, right? Nobody knows. No one knows. So we can trust the body with a process that nobody knows about. But here we're living, yes, if we're all living for the first time, but I mean, we see other people doing it. We've been doing this in cycles for millennia. We can trust our bodies while we're still alive. So get into it. Yeah, and we have one of Rod's beneath the deck, which speaks essentially of potential. This is like, I like to imagine this as this is like the stream of consciousness, essentially, and these are the little ideas. I'd say these are the outliers. Us, the people awakening, breaking free from this mainstream of consciousness, finding our own ways, writing anew. And then we have the star beneath the deck. All is well, even though it may not feel like it, even though on some level it may not look it. Part of why I'm also feeling into the whole grief thing, needing to learn how to do it, is because there are a lot of people processing very deep grief right now. Lots of parents dying right now, specifically. So, yeah, trust your process. Trust everything about your life right now, even the pain. It's all teaching us something. It's all the work. Also, trust your griminess. Trust the shadows. This card, if I remember correctly, the interpretation speaks of facing all the shitty parts about yourself and trying to accept them, not labeling them immediately as bad, just knowing that that's something that's part of you. I have quite a lot of shadows and shitty parts that I'm facing right now. Weird thoughts and desires that completely lack moral. Yeah, and it's making me a little bit, it's making me split in two, where one part of me is desiring this thing that I know very well goes against all my morals, and there's another part of me that's looking at that part going, what, girl? Jeez, you're like, oh, ew, that's terrible, So that part needs to calm down. The part that's judging me needs to chill. No judgment here. We're breaking free from a lot of really gunky stuff. Meditation has been helping me a lot. Prayer has been helping me a lot, even if I don't know what to say. Just the act of lighting a candle, sitting in front of it and staring at the flame has been doing me a lot of justice. And exercising and yoga, moving my body and being really strict about that on a daily basis, even if it's just something simple like taking a walk. So I hope any of that may help you. But again, you know yourself, you know what works for you and what doesn't. By now, you should at least be aware of what doesn't work for you. So I think especially with the One of Rods appearing, you should get into understanding what does work. Try to understand what does. Feels like there's a huge opening. There's a huge opening of an opportunity to try to understand that, understand what makes you you, understand what resonates with you and what makes you feel good. And then at the top of the deck, I picked up the World. And then the Two of Cups, which isn't just a romantic implication, but an implication of a uniting of unions. And with the Devil and the Star, again, we could do real good work in accepting every single part of ourselves, even the parts of ourselves that we don't like very much, and the parts of others that we don't like. I think that mirror work could be very useful right now. I know I said a few readings ago that it wouldn't be useful, but I think it's going to be useful now. At least now with this. With this. Ooh, so much work, guys. So much ego death. Shit. Ew. Randomly as well. Mushrooms. Psilocybin, if you're into it. Plan something for yourself, but please make sure you're doing it around people you love or with a professional who can guide you through your trip session. Or microdose. Microdosing is, it does actually make it, honestly for me, especially these days, I haven't taken a hero dose in years, but microdosing has been doing hero dose work, which is great. Find anything that helps you, man. There are tools everywhere. Please remember that you're not alone. And that there are spirits, angels, forces on the other side, unseen, unwordable, who are by your side, who are by all of our sides, who are really, really pushing us for this, man. Like, they're really, like, I'm getting a chorus of angels, ancestors, everyone going, go, yes, yes, keep going, whoa, keep going, keep going. And it's painful, and our knees are scraped, and we're crying, and we're sitting on the floor, and we're sobbing like, no, I can't do this, I can't. And they're going, get up, you can do it, you can do it. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And all my love, and I will see you in the next reading.